For more on the renminbi, Anil Gupta joins us. He's the Dingman Chair at the University of Maryland and Thinkers 50 list of the world's most influential living management thinkers. Good to have you here as always.
Good to see you, Phil.
This renminbi issue, a lot of people don't understand, first of all, in context, that it's appreciated substantially against the US dollar. This is the first time that we're sort of testing the limits of the renminbi. How big of a deal should we make out of this?
I mean, in the short term, it's a big deal because it increases volatility for the yuan carry trade people. But from a longer term point of view, if I look at it, even from a 6-month or a 1 year or a longer point of view, I don't think it's a big deal. And the reason I don't think it's a big deal is because even though there has been, the 1.5%, let's say, decline in the yuan vis-a-vis the dollar over the last 1.5 months, if I look at the year, how 2014 is likely to play out, I think end of 2014, the yuan will end stronger than what it is now.
Some of the traders, according to this Wall Street Journal article, are speculating as to the reasons why that the Chinese government or the central bank there may be letting the yuan sort of decline at this point. And I'm wondering, do any of those theories, which ones may or may not be even true, or which ones can we rule out, I guess?
I think, again, it's connected to the speculative money, so-called hot money that's going into China. And basically, that's the yuan carry trade. And what happens is
explain that, the carry trade.
So essentially what it is, you borrow money in one currency and you invest it in another. So let's say you borrow money in US dollars and you invest it in the yuan. And you're looking at three things. So first you're looking at, is there this? But the second, of course, in addition, you're looking at what may happen to exchange rates. So if the yuan will appreciate and there is and the Chinese interest rates are higher, then the exchange rate expectation adds more Phillip. But the third thing you're looking at is the volatility, is these expected gains. And I think what the Chinese governments or the PBOC actions have done, they have increased the volatility, they have increased the risk element, they have added an element of, let's say, short to medium term unpredictability.
Okay. As a normal person who's walking down the street, whether you're in China or in the US, you think of currencies strong and weak, and you think of, if it's a strong currency, it must be a strong country, and vice versa. Generally, how do we look at the strength or weakness of the renminbi? Does this reflect at all on the future of GDP growth in China?
Not these actions at all.
Okay.
And because these are really engineered by the PBOC.
Okay. Now, they have a lot of influence.
And they have a lot of influence. Now, if this was a market-driven, let's say a weakening of the yuan, then we would say the market is sending us some signals.
Is it possible they're setting up for additional reforms in this area?
It's possible. It's possible that they may.
There's a big meeting coming up.
Of course, the People's Congress, the meeting is coming up
next
this
week.
Month, next week. And so it's possible that they may make decisions to widen the band in which the currency is allowed to trade. That's possible. And of course, broadly speaking, clearly the government wants, the PBOC wants the yuan to become an international reserve currency.
So this story is just beginning because we don't know what's going to happen yet next week. A lot could happen in next 2-3 weeks.
A lot could happen. But at the same time, this story, I think the press has played the story for more than what I think it is worth, in the sense that I still believe that despite the 1.5% weakening of the yuan, we will end up 2014 with a yuan that's stronger than what it started out with.
I blame the press too, by the way, if that's of any consolation. What about the impact to commodities? China buys a lot of commodities. Yes. They do obviously a lot of trading with the rest of the world. How does this impact perhaps some of the local manufacturers in China?
I don't think this has much impact on the local. In one sense, what it does, of course, is that to the extent that it increases volatility in the yuan carry trade, to the extent that therefore that reduces some of the hot money flowing into China, that would mean that there is less speculation on the property side, perhaps, or at least it would weaken.
So this could be one of the reasons they really want to sort of slow this asset inflation situation down.
Yes, exactly. And to the extent that it leads to dampening on the property speculation, it would have an impact on commodity prices.
And will it work? if that's the reason.
Mildly.
This has been a big challenge for them.
Yeah, exactly. And again, I mean, I'm sure, that the investors, who play the yuan carry trade, they are looking at this volatility, but what they're also thinking about really is the same kind of question that I think about, is that 3 months, 6 months from now, where is the yuan going to be? Is this the beginning of long-term volatility? Is this the beginning of a long-term kind of an end to the yuan appreciation? Or is this just a one-shot action, but then it'll be 1 step back, 3 steps forward?
I was going to say have a nice weekend, but you've given our viewers now something to think about over the weekend. A lot of questions which we need answers to. Anil Gupta, University of Maryland, always good to see you.